Hi, y'all. This is Dr. Gabriela Hurtado. I am the co-owner of Pear Therapy and Training, along with my colleague, Dr. Josie Serrata. Pear Therapy and Training is a private practice in the South Austin area, and we focus on providing mental health services for adolescents, adults, couples, and families. Which we provide services that are both trauma-informed and culturally responsive. And we're able to provide those services in English and in Spanish. In addition to providing direct mental health services, we also partner with different community organizations to be able to provide training and program evaluation and support in general to center the well-being of their workforce, especially for individuals who live at different intersections of diverse identities. And our topic question was, how can we combat anxiety and lack of motivation during this pandemic? Well, the main thing is going to be that we continue to be socially connected throughout this time. It has been hard. A lot of us expected this time to be short-lived. When it started, we thought, okay, this is just a couple weeks. And now it has extended for 7-8 months for some of us. So it's definitely going to be really important for us to continue to connect with those people that are important to us and that provide support, that we're able to be authentic with them, and that we're able to talk about the different things that are maybe hard right now. While balancing, right, all the connection that we might have online. A lot of us are working from home. We are using things like Zoom and different video calls to be able to connect and to do the work that we do. And so sometimes we want to be a little burnt out of being on the computer. So maybe giving a call or having any other way to connect, even if that's text or sending, short clips in a group chat, anything that will allow us to promote that connection. In addition to that, it's going to be important to be able to have somewhat of a wellness routine at home, not something necessarily that we are being flexible about, but something that could change every day depending on what we're needing. So it might be that in the morning, we like to wake up and have our morning coffee by ourselves, maybe listen to some music, something that can slowly wake us up. And also it can provide some time for us to be able to ground. That means being present on the moment on purpose and be able to start our day in a way that is present, in a way that we are fully aware of what we're feeling and what is going on inside and outside of ourselves. The other thing would be to make sure that we are creating boundaries between our work and our home life, which I know right now it's really difficult because it's sharing that same space. There isn't that physical barrier that we would have during regular times. So in order to create some of that space, maybe we create some routine to make sure that we are closing up that time that we're spending working and then moving to a different space, to indicate to our brain that we're switching tasks and that it's time to focus on something else. Also adding some things that make us feel good every day. And it doesn't have to be a long activity, a complicated one. It could be something that we spend a couple of minutes on, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and maybe this changes a little bit. And that could be going for a walk. It could be listening to a podcast. It could be listening to music. It could be watching a show where we can just fully disconnect, reading a book, adding some joyful movement, adding some maybe yoga or light stretching at the end of the day, especially since we're spending more time sitting down. Anything that really brings us that joy. Those things that make us feel good, that allow us to reset. So then the next day we're waking up fresh and we're able to be present with our lives, both at work and at home. Another thing is going to be intentional about those things that we're doing to make ourselves feel good and connect. And so that means that we are doing things not only for the sake of them feeling good, but also that we're adding things to our jar so that we're able to continue this time of distancing, this time where things are different, and remember or remind ourselves that there are things in our day that are positive. There are days and moments in our day where we are connecting with others, regardless of being physically at a distance. And sometimes there might be days that are really hard. There might be days where we're lacking motivation, where anxiety is high. And so we want to make sure also that we're resting. We're building that meaningful rest. So that means that we are doing something to relax before we go to bed, that we have a certain routine, even if it's, again, a couple minutes, something that indicates to our brain that it's time to unplug and go to sleep. And we're able to have that time. Also, another thing is that because we're working from home, it might be really hard for us to feel like we earn, right, that break. And so we eat sometimes at our desk, or we skip lunch, or we have back-to-back meetings. And that would be something that it would be really different at the office, because we would be interacting with other people. So we want to make sure that you're taking your lunch break, you're stepping away from your desk, you are making time to have breaks during the day. And during those breaks, that you're doing something that feels restful. It could be that you close your eyes for a little bit, 10, 15 minutes. It could be that you have a snack. It could be that you have water and coffee. It could be that you use that time to maybe meditate, or just sit in silence, or go for a walk. And another thing is, throughout the day, we might be, again, in a lot of meetings, in a lot of online time. So for those meetings where you're not required to be on video, making sure that you're spending that time, maybe turn off your camera, maybe walk and have that meeting. So in that way, you are also adding some extra releases of just that energy that we're carrying around. Or even sitting outside, or trying to change areas while you're working throughout the day. That should be helpful in making sure that we're able to stay present, that we're able to rest. If we're feeling that intense lack of motivation, if we're noticing that our energy is very low, that it's hard to focus, that we are having a hard time with our thoughts, and they're going over and over again, we're thinking about the same thing, this might be a sign that we're hitting burnout, that we're not building this routine of restore and rest. And so we want to make sure that we're building that every day, and that we're doing it in a way that is both intentionally, feels good, and is authentic to us. Not necessarily picking up different things that we just read on the internet, but trying maybe different things and figuring out what works for us and what is sustainable for us. That means, what is it that we can take with us long term, and that maybe we can adapt throughout different days, depending on what we're needing. Well, it's a pleasure talking with you, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you.